Hello dear students, welcome back to the Pharma Learning channel. Today I brought another one new video which is on the one of the most important drying equipment which is in the pharmaceutical industry, which is known as the spray dryer. So into this video we try to understand the details about the spray dryer. Before that, for any of the tutoring or the coaching need on any of the subject or any of the topic related to the pharmaceutical technology, you please feel free to contact on the email that's pharmalearning@gmail.com. Now let's try to understand the details about the spray dryer. Basically, the spray dryer, as you can see in my previous video of the classification of dryers, I classified the dryers on the basis of the different criteria. So here the spray dryer is called as a pneumatic bed. Now what is the meaning of the word pneumatic? Pneumatic means it is going to be operated under the air, that is under the pressure, or with the hot air or the hot gas under the pressure. So here we are using the hot gas with the pressure, so that's why it is pneumatic bed. Yes, it is a continuous type of dry, means the feed is going to be sprayed continuously and the dry product is going to be removed continuously, and by the means of heat transfer I can classify this dry into the convection type, into which the material to be dried is coming into the contact with the fluid. In this case it is a hot air. Now, what is the principle involved in this one? Basically, the spray dryer is a, I can say it's a one-step continuous operation into which what is going to be happen, into which that employs liquid atomization, which employs liquid atomization, which try to produce the droplet. So, what is the important thing is that what is the material to be dry? It is to be in the form of a solution. You have to dissolve into particular liquid, and that liquid is going to be converted by the means of the atomizer process into the droplets, and the droplets are going to be dried individually to get the solid free flowing particle. Now for this one, what the parts should be there, or what are the parts which are present under this spray dryer? Then into this, the spray dryer basically consists of this following six systems. It will require the feed pump for the entry of the or the inlet of the material. Second, for the atomizer to convert that material, that is, let's say in the form of solution or very dilute suspension, into the droplet, that is by the use of atomizer. The third one, that is air heater, because is a pneumatic type of the bed, is that entire spray dryer is operating on the hot air, so the air is coming with the higher temperature with a certain pressure. The fourth one, that's called as air dispenser, which will try to distribute the air throughout the drying chamber uniformly. Yes, and this entire thing is going out into the drying chamber. And the sixth, that is we require the system for the exhaust air and the cleaning of the powder recovery, as well as separation of the dry product. Now into this slide, let's try to go into the detail. Okay, so I will go to highlight the details for this particular things into this particular slide, into which I will try to explain it. Okay, so the first thing is that that's a feed pump. So the liquid means the material which is going to be dried, either in the solution of the dilute suspension form, which is going to be entered, or it is to be carried by the feed pump into this atomizer. In the atomizer, the role of the atomizer, that will try to convert this particular solution of the dilute suspension into the form of finely droplets. So that is the role of atomizer. But this is done simultaneously with the head of the hot air. So here the fan is there, which will try to suction the air from the atmosphere. The air is going to be filtered, air is going to be passed to the heater, and after passing the heater, it is going to be filtered out to the HEPA filter to remove any foreign particles, and then it is going to be enter, or the dispense into this entire chamber will be there, and that into which this air is going to come into the contact with the droplets, and the heat transfer is going to be taking place by the convection. So as the droplets are going to come into the contact with this water, the solvent or the liquid which is present is going to be operated, and only the dried solids in the form of what you can say, it's like a spherical shape, it is going to be removed from that product by the use of the various cyclone, and by the means of the various other devices will be there. Now if I want to understand the basics how the work is, that the work is going to divide into the three parts. The first one, that's atomization. The second part, that is the spray air mixing and the moisture evaporation, and the third important step, that's called as dry product removal from the exudate. So this slide also shows the same thing. So here it is written like a solution of the dispersion will be there. When it is solution of the dispersion, it is going to be sprayed by the use of the atomizer into this particular drying chamber will be there. The dryer air inlet, it is electric heater passing the filter, it also going to be sprayed inside this particular chamber will be there. So this dryer, and this is drawn by this particular somewhat like a pink coloration, or the pink clouds will be there, which is going to be coming into contact with this fine stuff, which is drawing by this particular dotted line of the product is going to come into contact with this particular thing, and this product are drying and collect at the bottom, and from which it is going to be removed. The air is going to be taken out, and by the use of a certain device like a cyclone separator, okay, the particles are removed, and the filter air is going to be removed entirely. Now, what are the factors affecting the spray drying process? The spray drying process mainly affected by the design and the operation of the spray dryer. What do by the design? Design means what is the shape of the drying chamber will be there, how you carrying out, what is the atomizer, what type of atomizer you are using, and another one is the separation system is also important. What type of separation system you are using for the separation of the dry product from the air will be there. And another one is the physical chemical properties of the feed. Because physical chemical properties of the feed will decide whether it is in the solution form or it is in the dilute suspension form. Now let's try to understand the working of this particular things by this particular animation video will be there. Into this animation video, let's try to understand the things which are shown over here, that is like a big spray dryer has been shown. Now this is one chamber into which whatever the material to be dried, it is to be converted to the solution, or what I can say, or the dilute suspension form. What I can say, it's a simple word that's called as dispersion. And this is by the feed pump, it is going to be taken on the top, and by the taking the feed pump into the top, it is going to be taken again from this top, and it is going to be sprayed by this of the feed pump from the top of this one. Now this is entire drying chamber will be there. This red line is indicating that's a red arrow, that's a hot air, and from the another side, okay, the air is going to be also taken out to maintain the pressure. So that is shown by the black air, and that's a product are going to be dried, which is collected at the bottom. Okay, the droplets which are collected at the bottom, and from the bottom it is going to be further passing through the various kind of the separating system as shown in over here. So it is going to be passed through the various kind of separate system, and it is going to be going out. So this is the actually unit, the industrial unit of that particular bigger size of the spray dryer will be there. And it is the air is going to be compressed, and it is going to be passing through the certain filters to remove if any particles of the product which are present in that one, to prevent the contamination to the environment, and also useful for the important for the recovery of the product. Now let's try to understand the next one. What are the basic of this particular things will be, what are the advantages will be there. So here the faster or the rapid heat transfer is going to be operated, because each of the droplets come into contact with the hot air. Yes, a rapid water or the moisture evaporation is taking place, or I can say the solvent evaporation also, and because of that the drying cycle is very short. Yes, the product, the most important thing is that the spray dried product, there are the two unique characteristics associated with this product will be there. The first one is a free flowing, means like a spherical shape, because individual droplet is going to be dried. And another thing is that due to with this, the whenever the hot air is going to be come into contact with the droplet, there are chances because of the heat transfer, it will try to generate the pockets, or that's smaller holes or the voids inside the spherical particles. That's why I can say the particles are hollow in the nature, and because of that it will lead to the, yes, increase in the solubility. So I can say that the spray dried product, it is having the good flowability and having the good solubility also. What are the disadvantages? As shown in the previous slide, yes, it is going to be the bulky, the equipment is very big. Yes, expertise is required to install that one. You cannot install as such. You require to control so many parameters to carry out the entire drying cycle. It is difficult to clean after this, because each and every part is going to be clean. It's not suitable for the drying of solid material. We cannot dry the solid material, which we were doing in the case of like a previous case, like a tray dryer. Okay, we cannot dry it, or even if we can be doing the case of fluidized bed dry, we cannot do that one over here. So our dry product must be converted into the solution of the dilute suspension form, and then the atomization of that solution of the suspension is possible. Yes, the product degradation or the fire hazard is also taking place. Sometimes due to the product is going to be deposited inside the drying chamber, or sometimes the hot air is coming with the, that's a with the high pressure. So the air with the high temperature and the pressure may also lead to the fire hazard as well as the product degradation. Still, the spray dryer is very widely used in the pharmaceutical industry for the drying of the pharmaceutical like penicillin, certain blood product, enzyme, and the vaccine. Yes, it is used for the production of the excipients and the co-process excipient with increase the flowability, compatibility, and the tablet disintegration. I just given the one example, that is the spray dried lactose. The spray dried lactose is basically widely used into the pharmaceutical industry as a diluent. Diluent means as a filler, as well as this beta lactose can serve also the purpose of the disintegrating agent. So the lactose which is going to be dried by this spray drying process, and we got that particular product. So if you like my video, please subscribe, like you like to my video, and please subscribe to my Pharma Learning channel for the more upcoming videos on the various topics related to pharmacy. Thank you.